On April 19, 1853, the 28 reached freedom in Canada. A celebration was held at Sandwich Baptist Church. Henry Bibb, an escaped slave himself, wrote about the arrival in an abolitionist newspaper. Fairfield was the guest of honor. However, he did not show because there was a $500 bounty on his head. The church has a trap door in the floor, offering runaways a chance to escape if slaveholders crossed into Canada.
And I used to say, Mom, what's so special about Sandwich Baptist Church? She says, well, that's where, we didn't say enslaved back then, that's where the slaves were hid under the floor. They even say that sometimes they euthanized a baby that was crying because they had to go down. Now, where I told you where I believe that one part is, where the trap door would have been, it's not far from the front doors. There's a 4-foot drop there, and I believe a lot of times that's where they would go.
Well, can you just tell us a little bit about the church and why it's so special?
Okay, I believe this church is so special because it's a place of purpose, not just a place of worship. It gives us a taste of what our history was back in the 1800s. It's a beautiful place. It's quiet. People come here, and a lot of times they have a hard time leaving because there's a piece. I had a paper, a gentleman, a reporter from the New York Times, he came here to interview me, and he sat back there and he said, this is so peaceful and so quiet and so tranquil. He says, I just can't believe that there's this kind. He says, I don't want to leave. And he sat here for about maybe an hour. And he says, I don't even want to talk. We did the interview. He says, I just want to feel the presence of God in here. And when I think of the good things that have come from here, there's a lot that will never be told because there were stories that people would not repeat. When the bounty hunter would come here into Sandwich looking for runaways, he had the right to come, but he didn't have the right to take them back as property. They always would think that they had that right, and when they did meet up, they met up with the SS Essex regiment, and they would fight. They would fight the bounty hunter and send him back into the United States because they would not let these people that once they hit this land, they were free. Or, and I say free in quotes. I always want people to realize that Canada wasn't as free as everybody pretends it was. A lot of racism. They had slaves. They didn't call them slaves. They called them indentured servants. And one of the people, Sir John Simcoe, one of the things that he wanted to do is that he went to Queen Victoria and asked that she sign the freedom of emancipation from any place that held slaves in the British Commonwealth. And that's what she did. And William Wilberforce and Equiano, those were two of the other people that made certain that they got to freedom, that this Emancipation Proclamation was signed. 18 times William Wilberforce went to the Queen, to Parliament, and it wasn't till the 18th time that she signed it. And the thing was, before he even seen it go into action, he died. And that's something when people give their life stories, just like the Parkers. It's being able to find someone that knows a little bit of history that other people don't know.
So can you tell us about how this church started?
Okay, in 1820, there was a little log cabin down on Hill Street. And the little cabin, the people would come. The free blacks would come and enjoy some kind of freedom. And they would worship. And they were of the Baptist, how can I say it, religion. There was a man by the name of Binga Sr., and he was known as the walking pastor, and he would go from Amherstburg to Sandwich to Puce, into Michigan. Jackson, Michigan was one of the places he went, asking people to give money so that he could build more churches. The Second Baptist in Detroit, Sandwich Baptist, and the Amherstburg Baptist Church. At one point, they were called the Baptist Association. And for years, they would come together. So from that point in the 1820s to date, we have an association called ARMBA, which stands for Amherstburg Regular Missionary Baptist Association. So we have 9 churches in Ontario that we celebrate. Every year we do a program. This year, a session, July 26th to the 28th, we have a session here at Sandwich. We are celebrating 179 years in existence. And I'm so proud of that. I tell Windsor wasn't even named by then. But here in Sandwich, that's what we do.
So this church was built by African American people who came here?
Yes, I would say African American, African Canadian, free whites, free blacks. One thing in this area here, Sandwich was noted for having diversity before diversity even was spoken of. They had the French, they had the English, they had the Jewish, the Italian, they had the free blacks, the enslaved blacks. They had all kinds of people that the French, they all lived in this neighborhood and they all worked together. And I'm sure the bricks, they say, were made from the clay from the Detroit River, and the backyard, they would have had to cut down a lot of the trees. They had a kiln, a handmade kiln back there where they would fire the bricks. And our cornerstone here says August the 1st, 1851. Now, most people know August the 1st, they celebrate it as Emancipation Day. And that's why we, even to this day, we here in Sandwich and Windsor call this Emancipation Day.